welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest non-crazy news from all over the planet. We are here to take the news as if we have grown it in our wombs for 9 months and pushed it out into the world, or had it ripped from us mercilessly via the side door. We are here to take that news, put it into your ear holes, let you wrap it in swaddling clothes, and be caressed and loved and cared for by you for the next hour or so. I use all that metaphor not because the news is a special thing that has its own little soul and life that you must nurture, but I say it because, well, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades has a life that you should love and cherish and be a part of, and that belongs to Ashley's brand new babies.
Yay!
Smashy's brand new baby.
Smashy, yeah, that's my new LP dropping later this evening.
Smashy's brand new baby.
Yes. Did Jacob tell you that I got to splooge him out with coconut oil?
Yes, we heard the coconut oil story, but that's reserved for pre-show listeners. So hey, if you're not a patron, you gonna miss out, audio listeners. But yeah, the coconut oil, you can give us the gist from your point of view. And I think that would be fine, because all we heard was Jacob's.
Just from my point of view is validated, justified, and always right.
Okay. Can we just, someone put that as the show title, because that's just about perfect. Validated, justified, and always right. And you shouldn't be here, by the way. I was willing, like I'm some sort of demon overlord, I was willing to give you the week off. You had a baby 3 days ago. What day is it? Yeah, 3 in the evening. So just now, so like 3 days ago.
Monday night at 10:20. So he is not quite 2 days old.
Yeah, 3 days old. Yeah.
2. Monday night,
Tuesday night, Wednesday night. That's 2 days. Wednesday night, Thursday night.
Nobody no, this kid is screwed. Like, happy 5th year birthday, Mom. I'm 47. Yeah!
Mama wrote, "You're 7,250 months old today."
I don't know what day it is. So I will say that an epidural is the second best thing, only to Jesus and maybe hand sanitizer currently.
Yeah.
And so, okay, this is the thing. And like, you and Stephanie had a completely different experience because you guys just went to the doctor's office, right? Like, you didn't do the centering thing, which I think is blasphemy. And that should be how, like, if you're going to have a baby, you should have the group. You shouldn't go wait 2 hours in the doctor's office and be seen for 5 seconds and then sent on your way and be like, well, you'll figure it out. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. But to fill in the gap there, yeah, we talked about that tonight, actually. We said Ashley had so much more emotional and group support than we could have ever. Like, we went to the doctor, we saw different people every time. We were given enough information to hang ourselves and sent on our merry way. We had a 4-hour course on what a baby is on a weekend. And you did it so much better. Yeah. Yeah.
So my brain, the kid's like contrast right now, and so the shirt's really contrasty, and every time I wear it, he's like,
"That's awesome.
What's that?" So I wanted to tell something like the shirt. But so anyway, like that on top of it, and then even with all the information that we were given and everything, you think of a contraction, right? Like, so if you were to describe a contraction to somebody, you know, even as a male, what would you say it is?
I would probably, so I'd imagine it would be some sort of gnarly cramp in the lower gut region.
Okay.
That's the best. I'm a dude. I don't know. No,
that's closer. Like, everything I had ever heard or seen, it's just people described it as like a tidal wave, right? Like, it starts up and it just, and you feel like you need to poop. I heard a lot, like, oh, I'm gonna poop my pants. And that's so, while me and you were on the horn with TV's Travis, I was in freaking labor.
Yes, you were.
I was literally in labor. I texted Jacob because I'm like, I don't think like I'm explaining the amount of pain that I'm in to anybody enough, because nobody seems to care. And so I wrote Jacob, I'm like, dude, I'm dying. And then like he comes in later that night, he's talking and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I think my vagina is gonna fall out of itself. Like I think I'm dying. Like something's not. And that was a contraction, but you can have like just and that's all I had was the low vagina contractions. They weren't a contraction, such a stupid word. It just felt like my vagina was falling out.
Yeah, you explained it as if someone were to put duct tape on your balls and pull on it.
Yes.
That's the way you told me.
For like quickly, but expand that for, multiple minutes, seconds, minutes as it's going on. And then, maybe also stabbing your nut with a pencil.
Oh, okay. That hurt with you just saying it. Now my balls they're up inside my guts now. They've moved all the way up.
The pressure from the laughter makes me feel like my vagina's gonna explode.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're doing a comedy show tonight. It should go well.
Oh God.
Don't
we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so while we were talking about what's that show called?
Holy crap, Pokemon Go podcast is rating us. Holy butts. Thank you for the raid. You guys are amazing. And a resub from Sub for 33 months. What the devil?
Wow.
Thank you, Pokemon Go podcast. You guys are awesome. Look at them.
I hope you're old enough to listen to vagina talk.
Yeah, because we're doing it. We're talking about girl parts.
That's what she said.
I mean, I'm not. Ashley is. She has all the experience. I have a baby. I have some experience.
I thought you meant with being a girl.
I mean, yeah, that too. Whatever. You know how this goes. So you are the first podcaster that I know of that has done a podcast while in labor, which I think earns you some sort of merit badge.
I want points for that.
You get points. I don't know how we're going to give them to you, but you're going to get some kind of you should write. Who's the Lord of podcasting now? Well, we got Rock God of podcasting.
I was gonna say, yeah, Garlic's in here, so
yeah, Charles could give you points for being a podcasting while in labor.
That should totally be because we had joked about it. I just thought it would be today and not then. Have you ever have you ever peed your bed, Steven, at an age where you could remember?
Yes, I have. It was one of those dreams where you just really have to pee, and then you finally find a place to go, and then you wake up and you're like, how ashamed of myself should I be right now? And it's like
how
the
old
worst.
Were you?
This was 6 years ago.
Are you serious?
I haven't wet the bed since I was I don't remember being a child wetting the bed, and I somehow managed to do it 4 or 5 years ago. True story. I have no idea.
I'm so happy right now.
I don't know. I remember waking up and I was like, what just happened?
So I was thinking because nobody remembers wetting the bed when they're 2, but I'm like, okay, well maybe when he was 12 or something he remembers. So I was gonna be because I was 13, I was in 9th grade and I couldn't find a bathroom in New York and I was trying to find a stall to pee in, and I woke up and I'm like, did I just piss my bed? Because me at 13.
Yes.
And I did, in fact, just piss my bed. That's what I did Sunday night, except much more.
I thought it was in the morning, Monday morning that happened. Or was it the night before? I remember.
What
so
is it?
It's probably
Sunday
a blur.
Morning. So it was after the podcast. So it was that my brain says Sunday night, but I guess technically that's the wee hours of Monday.
Yeah, it would have had to been. I think it was 5 o'clock on Monday morning.
It was 4:41 because there's a lit clock in the bathroom that tells you when the floor stops being heated, and I was just like, well. So I flung the covers off of me and I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, oh my God, my water broke. So I waddled into the what is that? The bathroom. But we had just put new tile down. I'm like, it's slippery. It's slippery. It's so slippery. So I'm waddling to get over to the toilet as fast as I can so I can dump some of the juice into the toilet. And I just sat there laughing at myself. And I'm like, what the? Why? Why is this? Because most of the time you don't have that happen until you're in the hospital laboring. That's that's not really a thing that movies make it out to be. And I'm just so sitting there laughing, much like when you gave yourself diarrhea.
Yes, I remember that.
That's actually one of the thoughts I had. I'm like, Steven pooped himself.
We've both laughed on the toilet after an event.
God, that would have been so gross.
Twinsies.
If you wouldn't have made it to the toilet.
Oh, gosh. No, I haven't pooped my pants in a long, long time. Probably since I was a very tiny child.
I feel like there needs to be a better story than that.
There should be.
You should make one up.
There's not. Yeah, but so for my end, I wake up in the morning and I notice that you have put into Discord, because I check Discord in the morning because I'm obsessive. Well, I'm awake and it was 5:30, and Sub, in his infinite wisdom, is all like, "What are you awake for?" And you're like, "Well." And then 30 minutes go by and Sub's like, "I think she's typing a response in another chat room." And I was like, "Sub, there's only one reason she'd be awake right now, dude." And he's like, "Yeah, I wonder what she ate." And I'm like,
I saw that.
I'm like, Sub, please tell me you're joking, because she's been pregnant for 9 months. And if you didn't think that could be a possibility, then I don't know what's going on with you right now.
I feel like if Steven was up at 4 a.m. typing in Discord going, my butt, that would be.
I'm going to set my alarm for 4 a.m. and I'm going to get in Discord and type, my butt, just for you guys. Just see what happens. There's got to be some way I can just leave a timer on my computer for that.
I was going to tell everybody that my water broke, and I was talking to Jacob because, no, let's just hold off. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to leave everybody hanging like an asshole then.
He really did. And then I'm sitting there like, I can't tell them. I know what's going on, but it's not my story. I'm not going to tell that story. And it's killing me. And then finally Jacob comes in and he's like, "Hey guys, at the hospital doing blah, blah, blah," or whatever. And I'm like, yes, now I can tell them the same thing Jacob just told them, but we can all be excited together. Because I wasn't going to tell any more. Like, I can't give more than the owners of the story give. That's inappropriate. So I was like,
I didn't care at that point. I wanted to tell everybody, but Jacob plays long games and I don't know how to do that. You and I are like,
no,
things, stuff, fun, excitement.
Stuff just happened and it's exciting. Or I have an idea, you guys, and then we never do it. It's just like never a thing.
Like the dipshits, by the way. That's the best thing I've ever read.
You guys, if I pull it off, I'll be so happy. I can't tell you about it, but I'm real happy. That's my favorite swear word, by the way.
Dipshit.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite one. It's my favorite one in the world, and I want to use it one day when it matters most, and when it stands up it's a moment where I can just look at someone and I can let it loose, and I'll just walk away happy.
I really hope it's directed at something Sam does when he's in high school, or like one of his friends. Like I hope he brings home somebody and his friend's just a complete landing. And you just look at it and be like, "You guys have been such dipshits today."
It's the thing about it, it's always delivered in such a rapid, completely condescending manner that I'm always really happy about it. And I want one day when I'm drink enough, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come flying out at the first person that says a stupid thing. Yeah, it'll be coming out like a newborn baby. You know what I mean?
That is actually one of the. So, like, they have you curl up on yourself. They take your legs and push them up, like, and then have you pull your leg. Oh my God. It was the Olympic divers. You know how they, like, tuck their hands under their thighs and curl up into, like, this weird Pokemon ball?
Yes.
That's what they had you doing in bed. And they're like, now take a breath and count, like, and then push for 10 seconds. And I'm like, my lungs have zero capacity. I'm curled up in a ball around a fetus, and you expect me to push for 10 seconds around my little of breath. This will go well.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like the things they ask of you don't seem like things that are possible when you're in the hospital.
I wanted that kid out, so I just imagined him just shooting with enough force out of my vagina to hit the opposite wall. Like, I shit you not. And like, because I'm competitive and because there were 50 people in the room to make sure my kid didn't die, I'm like, I'm gonna show you all what I can do.
You're like a mama dragon. Watch this. It was
like those dogs that are like panting in the corner. They're like, look.
Oh, that's pretty great. Like I mean, they just cut Stephanie open and took our kid out, so we didn't have to do any of that. It
Along with
was
the guts.
along with the guts, and then they had to put all that back in and everything. Ooh, that's a messy operation. Don't do it that way if you can avoid it. Uh,
Yeah.
he's all right now though. He's pretty cool. He's sleeping in the next room. And we watched Avengers Endgame tonight. Well, it's half of it. It's a very long movie, but we're having
Did
a
he get
blast.
bored at any point?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. It like Captain America's like whales, and he's like, "Can we fast forward the movie to the parts where there's fighting?" I'm like,
I
"No, no.
love
This
that
is
kid.
my movie, and you will watch it in this way." And I was like, "Ant-Man's coming. It's cool." And he's like, "Oh, Ant-Man!" And then he was happy. He doesn't laugh at Fat Thor though. He didn't understand Fat Thor. He's like, why is Thor so big? Why is his belly out? He doesn't have a shirt on. You know, that's the things that he pays attention to.
Why is his belly out?
You know, what's he doing? But it was great. But anyway, let's learn about newborns. I like this factoid that you've got us. Factoid of the week.
Jacob did it.
Newborns spend half their sleep time in REM, accompanied by jerking eyeballs, twitching bodies, and a characteristic sawtooth pattern on brain scans. For comparison, adults spend just 1/4 of their sleeping time in REM and the rest in the dreamless non-REM phase, marked by slowly varying brainwaves. If babies dream during REM, then they would dream for the equivalent of a full 8-hour workday. They probably do dream because they've got neurons, making pathways and all kinds of weirdness, and they can't really see very well initially. So they're probably like doing all kinds of weird abstract things with their brain.
What if it looks like the Electric Sheep program?
Oh, maybe.
Just like, but they don't know what colors are yet.
They don't know what a lot of
They
things
can't
are.
see in color, right?
I think I know that you're supposed to show them high contrast images, a lot of like black and white, because they can recognize that quicker. Like your shirt, sure. But I don't know if they can actually see color. I don't know how much they can see. I don't know that anybody really does, right? We don't have a way to be inside baby brain and go, oh, I'm looking at you.
Well, I was
baby.
thinking more just from like developmental, like cones and rods kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how development works. I know they really should stay in you about 3 more months, but they can't fit, so they come out early. The Africans,
you would need more than coconut oil.
Yeah. There's a tribe in Africa that basically call it the 4th trimester. So when they come out and you basically strap them to your body for the next 3 months. And that's how Americans want to put their babies down to watch them run around and like a horse.
Yeah.
They aren't really made to do that. They're made to be taken care of.
They floppy.
Yeah. I had to hold Sam to sleep, and you're not supposed to, but I mean, if I was going to get sleep, that was the only way I was going to do it. And we just held him the whole time. Just woke up one morning, I thought I turned his head around backwards.
Oh yeah, because when they like lay on their stomach and they're like this.
Oh yeah, their head turns more to the side than you or I can do it. It's like just all the way over because they're flexy. They don't have anything in there.
They just squoze out a 10-millimeter tunnel. Like they gotta be like octopi.
They're limber. So yeah, I had my chest. I woke up. I looked down. I'm like, I turned his head around backwards. He's dead, and then he breathed. I was like, no, he's fine. He's fine. I shouldn't sleep like this.
It's so I hate that for safety reasons. Like you have to because obviously you didn't spend that long baking cookies just to spill them on the floor. But like he does not enjoy sleeping on his back. So like today I just laid him on my so when we took a birthing class, there was this crazy lactation specialist like with a Karen haircut and had like the tinsel through her hair. And she was telling us stuff and I'm like, I don't know if I believe you or not. Because she's like, oh, babies are amazing. You take them out and you put them on your stomach. And she's like, they'll crawl their way up to your giant cherry red areola so they can drink. And she's like, and that also makes your uterus contract more. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I make my own toothpaste, but they do. Like, because I laid in the bed because I was freaking just exhausted and the kid was exhausted and I started him like breastfeeding. So he's under my breast. And then like he, over the course of, 20 minutes, wiggled his way up until his head was in the crook of my neck. And I'm like, How the hell did you do that?
How? Yeah, that's not a thing you should be. They don't have muscle mass. How's that
It's
work?
just the kicks and the squirms and the way they turn his head, but he knew where he wanted to be. And he just kept climbing till he got there. I mean, it wasn't like, a hobgoblin going, but yeah, I was like, I feel like I owe this tinsel lady an apology, even though she knows that, or she doesn't know. I thought she was full of crap.
Yeah, well, you know what? We all think you're full of crap, and you know what? The midwife used the coconut oil and was happy about it. So we all have to learn sometimes that the hippie around us might actually have some knowledge that is useful and true, which is going to be hard to accept for me and Jacob, but that's all right. We'll get through it somehow. But in the meantime, let's do some world news. Robots replace Japanese students at graduation amid coronavirus. This is very Japanese. This is the most Japanese.
Wait, they replaced the students?
Yeah, apparently. Apparently now we're just replacing students with robots. I feel like this is like when Sheldon in Big Bang Theory had a laptop on top of a Segway or whatever and drove it around the apartment with his face. Like that's basically what they did. Oh, there's a picture. Thank you, McFly.
Wait, hold on. All I can think of is Demolition Man, where the seats all turn with the computer, like LCD computer screens up top.
Demolition Man is the truest future. Everybody wants to go to Taco Bell. Nobody touches because they don't want to spread disease. What other thing? It's not my made up story. It was Wesley Snipes is out of jail.
Oh my gosh!
It's the
nice
future. Spring graduation ceremonies in Japan have been canceled because of the coronavirus pandemic, but students at one school were able to attend remotely by controlling avatar robots while logged on at home. This is Sheldon Cam. The robots, dubbed Numi by developer Anna Holdings, were dressed in graduation caps and gowns for the ceremony at the Business Breakthrough University in Tokyo. The robot faces were tablets that displayed the faces of the graduates who logged on at home and controlled the robots via their laptops. One by one, the robots motored towards the podium to receive their diplomas. School staff clapped and said, "Congratulations," as University President Kenichi Ome placed the diplomas on a rack mounted on the robot's midsection. I'm just going to place this diploma on your rack. Is that okay? I think this is a truly novel experience. I love that you
did it with the cowboy accent, too.
Yeah, Japan, they love cowboys over there. I think this is truly a novel experience to receive a certificate in a public area while I am in a private space, Kazuki Tamura said via his computer avatar when receiving his master's degree diploma. The university hopes its approach can be adopted by other schools looking to avoid mass gatherings. Reflecting the human world, however, the school limited the ceremony to just 4 graduates so that the robots could practice social distancing among the pandemic. So they only let 4 people use the robots? That seems like cheating.
The picture makes the one guy look like he has cat ears because his hair's dark and then there's light on either side of his head, but the frame makes him look like triangles. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you see.
Meow.
It does look like he's got triangle ears.
Because that's what I saw the first thing I popped over, and I'm like, okay, this cannot possibly get any more Japanese than a robot cat-eared graduate.
This is so stupid. Thank you for the follow, Corporate Gandalf. You're awesome.
Hi!
Corporate Gandalf is a friend of ours, Smash. We've met him here in town a couple times because he's driven here, if you know who I'm talking about.
Hey, I know that guy!
Yeah.
I am friends with him on a video chat client that I didn't know existed until your wife made me download it.
Oh, Marco Polo!
Yeah!
I got that. I tried to make everybody laugh by taking an up-the-chin fat face picture for a little bit because your mom kept doing that on accident because she couldn't figure out how to work it. So she would
does this.
She would just stare at it and she'd like look at it for a little while and she would stop it. And we're like, this couldn't be any more simple. Like you just hit start, you record yourself, and then you hit stop. But we were like, what are you doing? And she would hit it and she'd look at you for a little bit, look at her phone, do this thing that like people do, swishy twitchy. Thank you for the follow. And that's a great name. I love that. Squishy twitchy. And then she would stop. And I'm like, Stephanie got her to finally explain what she was doing. She's like, well, I hit start. And then it would say stop. And we were like, no, that's another button. You press the stop button when you're done. You start, you say things, and then you stop. And it was a glorious experience of watching multiple videos of your mom. Like,
I saw those.
yeah, they were.
I
wonderful.
saw that was when I thought like I might be sick, but apparently that's the beginning of squishing out a child. But like, so, I Marco Polo'd Gandalf, and I meant to just take a picture while I was laying in bed because I felt like just horse shit. And so I'm like, nope, I started a video. So I just kept talking to him. Like, I don't even remember what I said, but like, it's just my head sticking out of like the covers because I was freezing to death. And like, I'm like, okay, love you, bye.
That's amazing. This is the kind of quality you get from Ashley when you're friends with her on a social media thing. It's not really social media. It's more like targeted. It's targeted at a group.
It's recorded FaceTiming.
Yeah, but it's live also if you want it to be, if you're there at the time.
If you're mom and you have the alarm shoved up your anus. By the way, mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I told her I was going to give her the link so she could see baby, but I forgot.
Your mom is gonna murder both of you. Like us trying to keep your mom calm while y'all were at the hospital, and Jacob was providing less than no information as the day was going on, was killing everyone. It would be like 6 hours. He'd be like, "We're doing good," and I'm like, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him." Has the doctor come?
Did that too. You did that too.
We texted the bejesus out of you guys.
It was so bad. You guys were gone forever, and I'm like, did she have twins? Like, she went to labor 7 days ago. Like, what's going on? And you're like, well, they had to do cesarean. Everything's fine. I'll text you later. But that's all you have time for because people are like running in and out and doing this and that. And you're like tired and stupid.
Oh, you're stupid. It was completely delirious. But no, I texted everybody. Your mom was complimentary of my text fueled. I might not have included you guys though. That's true. I could have left you out in all the texting. I don't think I would have. That doesn't make sense. This was 5 years ago. Let's pretend I did better than you and move on.
You're like, I need a win.
I get to win. I at least texted better. I suffered for 6 months.
I didn't text for shit. I'm like, I'm tired.
Stephanie didn't either.
I can't feel when I have to pee.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll happen.
So I just have to like set an alarm to go pee. I'm like, and they're like, well, you know, that's the side effect of epidural. It goes away. And I'm like, don't care. Worth it. If I have to set a timer for the rest of my damn life to go pee, worth it.
Stephanie did, in Jacob's defense, I see him in the chat. In Jacob's defense, Stephanie said, I wouldn't have texted if you were having the baby and I was sitting there. Because her and Jacob are the same person. She's like, I might have texted 4 times. And I'm like, what? I was like, this is happening. This is happening. Nurse came in. Still no movement. Nurse came in. This happened. Water broke. 7 pounds of fluid. My thumbs were sore. All the texting. But then you're right though. It gets to a point though where it's like it's make or break time, and then there's no more phone. Like you just can't do it. You're in the middle of it. You're talking to doctors, and when they decide it's C-section time, it's C-section time, and you go, and there's very little you can do beyond that. And yeah, Jacob's right. You did go full velociraptor for a little bit there, but epidurals are important.
So okay,
they're good, important for your health.
You guys know Jacob. Steven knows Jacob. Steven and Jacob are buddies. Jacob is the mayor, and he really likes to talk. Okay. When we were at Dragon Con, Steven and I were in a situation where we were surrounded with some people, and we were ready to go. Like, we had just met these people, and we had decided that maybe we didn't really care about these people. Jacob props his mother effing leg up on the bar stool like he's Captain freaking Pineapple Rum Drink. Proceeds to talk to these people and pick their brain and just ask them question after question after question for 45 damn years. And Steven and me and Sub are like rolling around on the floor going, we want to go do something fun. So apply that to me in labor without an epidural in just balls squishing pain, and him talking to everybody that comes in and asking their life story over my head while I'm sitting here going, It'll stop.
Woosah.
Don't think about it. It's fine. Okay, it's gone. It's better. You're gonna make it. Like I had to keep my eyes closed. Like I had to be in my head, or I was going. And then every once in a while, I'd be like, "Oh, so I see you went to blah 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 school of blah. How did you get into that?" And I'm like, "I will fuck you up. You take this shit out of the room. I will kill both of you. Get the fuck out of my room." It was so bad.
Yeah.
I was so, and I'm like, you love him, you love him, you love him, you love. Nobody gives a shit how long she went to school, Jacob.
I
I
believe
said
this.
nothing though. I
Yeah.
said nothing. I sat there, and then like at one point I was in a chair, and they took 4 friggin' years to get this like shit stapled to my stomach so they could hear my friggin' kid's heartbeat because they couldn't get it. And like I didn't want to lay down because that was squeezing my hips, and that was just insurmountable amount of pain. And so I'm sitting in this chair, and Jacob kept coming up and putting his hand on my shoulder. Really sweet, takes me out of the mood. I'm like, don't bite his fingers off. That would be bad because you need him to like hold the baby later. But he would take his hand and put it on the back of the rocker, which would rock me back. And I'm like, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna like, you don't understand what I'm gonna do with this freaking thermometer the second I get like anything. And I was like, honey, you're touching the chair. And he's like, oh, which sounds insane, right? Like, who gives a shit if you're touching the chair? So like I opened my eyes at one point. He's sitting all the way across the room in this chair with his back up against the wall, just kind of like this.
That sounds like that's a safe place. That's where you go. Oh, that's the greatest.
He said I was worse than that, but I felt like I was very restrained. Mentally, I was murdering everyone.
Yeah, no, I believe that. But the good news is that better living through science, all it takes is a little spinal tap, and
Oh my
you're
God.
peachy keen, baby.
They're like, you're gonna feel a little pinch. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you punch me in the back of the spine. Like, make it so.
Make this
Joe.
not hurt.
Nothing they did hurt with the like
Yeah.
it. Nothing, like not a thing. Like I sat there through 2 contractions, and like she's like, are you good? She's like, you're doing great. And I'm like, I know I am.
You're about to unhinge your jaw and just open a portal to hell and let the doom demons just come flying out of there with their machine gun jetpacks and just
It was
destroy
almost
everyone.
instantaneous how much better I felt though. They're like, it's gonna take a few minutes. I'm like, no, I'm good now. So you went to school where?
You're like, I can't feel my legs anymore, but who needs those? They're
Just flopping around with a bag of my own pee. I didn't give a shit.
That's what we did. Like, Stephanie was starting to get mildly uncomfortable because just everything sucked. And I was like, let's just do the epidural. She's like, yeah, mom doesn't like it. I'm like, your mom's not here. Let's do the epidural. Like, she's like, okay, that's a good idea. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. C-section. Whatever. We're good here. It's amazing.
You guys
Better
were
living
much
through
more
science.
intelligent than I was.
Well, you're stubborn. We gave in pretty quick because I was heavily encouraging. I'm like, you don't have to hurt if you don't. And then we were worried. We're like, if you get too far, they can't give it to you. So you got to do it.
Oh, that.
There is a point of no return where they're just like, sorry, you missed your window.
You can't sit still long enough, and yeah,
it just gets bad news. So you did the right thing. Well done, everybody. Small town news.
it's my turn. It's my turn.
It is.
Maryland winery employees deliver dog for curbside pickups. Wait, what? They're not serving a dog.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
No, they're letting dogs.
My brain said deploy, and I'm like, does dog pair well with wine during a pandemic? A Maryland winery is observing social distancing protocol in its curbside deliveries with an unusual employee, a delivery dog. Steven, what's the movie in the zombie apocalypse with the dog, and then everybody dies because of the dog?
Fido.
28.
No,
yeah. It died.
28 Days in a Dog.
God, no.
I Am Legend. No, that has a dog.
They're at the mall. They're at Crossroads Mall. They all hang out at the mall, and there's
Dawn
the guy
of the
with the gun
Dead?
store. Yes, that
That has a dog in it?
Yes,
Has
he's the
Ving
guy that
Rhames in
gets
it.
the gun owner killed. You know, he sat through a stitches scene where they actually stitched him up.
Dang, that's hardcore.
The nurse went too far into the fake skin and actually stitched him, and he just sat there and took it.
Actors, man, that's tough. It was like, I don't even have to pretend this hurts. Look at me. I can do it for real.
I can fake pretend that this hurts.
Oh gosh, could you imagine? Now I need to watch that movie again and look for that. It's like in Django when Leonardo DiCaprio actually cuts his hand open and
Yes.
continues the scene. Like
That was cool.
yeah.
Because I looked for that because I knew that happened because, my brother-in-law's IMDb. And like it's not even that it registered his pain. He just looked, he's like, that real? That's real.
Well, there's those
Yeah.
couple seconds before things hurt that you have to
Yeah.
determine, am I going to scream or am I going to be cool? And you're like, oh, snap, doesn't hurt yet. I'm cool. Let's go.
Yeah, that
You
was
just
cool.
ignore it. It's like I fell down the stairs the other day and wounded myself right here. I fell real
Steven!
hard. Well, don't worry about it. It's fine. I was going down the stairs. I was in my hoodie, so I basically gave myself a rug burn with my hoodie. And I was like, oh, snap. That hurt. I'm not going to look at it because it's fine. It's all fine. And then later I looked, I'm like, that's a very moist, just skin scrape. I'm like, oh,
Gross.
oh gosh. Because it kept feeling like it was sticking to the inside of my hoodie. And I'm like, I'm just not going to look because it doesn't hurt yet. I'm just going to be fine. But then, later you're like, why does it feel so wet? Okay.
Moist wounds are the worst. So basically what you did was you screwed your skin up and then you just kept sticking it to the material, letting the blood dry and ripping it apart rather than take care of it.
Basically, but you can ignore it
Okay.
and it's fine.
Oh no, that's what any responsible human being would do with a wound.
I mean, Bruce Willis in Die Hard, he had to run over glass and junk. He's fine.
Subject Schrodinger's injury.
Yes, exactly. That's very much what it is.
It's more like Steven's aversion to seeing his own inside juice.
Yeah, I don't need it. It's fine.
When they were like at the end after baby it squoze out, they get in like these hazmat suits to deliver the baby and like this big face shield, I guess, in case you diarrhea all over them or something. Which is kind of gross now to think about. But I could see the reflection of what she was doing in that mask. And like I had felt pain like worse than the delivery. And I'm like, good God, what is she doing down there? And I could see her making a couple stitches down there. And I'm like, and then like she pulls up and there's just like this bloody string. And I'm like, well, okay. I guess I'll just sit here and feel the stitches.
Oh gosh.
Whatever. But it was so weird. Like I'm like, why can I feel the stitches? Like, but I guess you could feel the baby being born. Like it was not comfortable at all.
Right. Yeah. There's always pressure and even in numbing, there's always a slight there's a degree of discomfort when you're numb, regardless of how much the pain receptors are gone.
No, the pain receptors were so the I found this out after. Did Jacob tell you that his cord was wrapped around his neck?
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently at one point, like they paused and she had to like do this little thing. They're like,
yeah,
tickle your taint to get the baby.
Tickle your taint. I'm not reading that show title, you guys. Don't even put it in there. It's not going in.
But that hurt quite a lot. But I'm like, whatever. But yeah, the stitches were worse than that. I'm like, good. Yeah. So having stitches in your bitches, I'm just gonna keep reading my dog story. Stonehouse Urban Winery in Hagerstown, whatever, has been offering curbside pickup to abide by the government's order during the COVID-19 pandemic. And to make sure employees and customers keep a safe distance, the deliveries are being made by a 75-pound brindle boxer named Soda Pup.
Good name.
We've had people call in just specifically to have Soda Pup bring wine out to them. People who have never, ever been here before. Lori Yatta, Soda Pup's owner and co-owner of the winery, said. Yatta said the 11-year-old canine only carries 2 bottles of wine at a time and gets plenty of breaks to keep him from getting tired. They said exhausted, but I mean, I don't think the dog cares.
Nah, he's fine.
She said the business is trying to keep an optimistic outlook during the coronavirus crisis. So How would you get him to deliver?
I mean, I guess you just let the people stop at the curb and you just train him to go to the car. Like, there's one, go to the car.
Was that what did I say? Oh, for some
Yeah.
reason I'm imagining like them driving the dog around, him jumping out, going to the front door, and then going, "Tips, please."
No, it's curbside pickup. So they drive to the store, they call in, they say, I'm here, and they send the dog out with the wine. He brings it and you put it. But yeah, it's probably like it's got a thing on his back, like some saddlebags, put the wine in. Or it could be like one of those St. Bernards that saves people in the Himalayas with the little barrel on his neck.
Yeah, the sub just said the Mastiff barrels.
Yeah. Is that a real thing? Because I've only ever seen it in cartoons. And how does the dog find you anyway with a barrel around its neck?
Yeah, that's a real thing.
But why?
And they have the like the Red Cross on their stuff because that's the symbol for that one country. So those Swiss people, because it's a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, I thought you meant like it's the Red Cross because it's the symbol for the Red Cross.
No,
but it's not. The Red Cross would never pay to have dogs help people.
Mine was also mine was also dumb, Stephen.
It's not a question of where it grips. It's a matter of weight ratios. Thank you, Head Gamer, for the Monty Python reference. That's pretty good. I don't
remember that one.
No, it's the swallow. The speed of an unladen swallow.
Oh, the coconuts. Because it started out as a coconut thing, right?
Yeah, it started as a coconut thing, and it became a bird and a math problem. By the way, I had to solve a time-related math problem today relating to two things that were updating things at different times, and my brain melted. You've seen that gif of Zach Galifianakis from Hangover with the math in front of him? That's exactly how I felt, except I was failing at it. And I'm like, there's a solution in here. I just have to piece this timeline together, and then I fell apart. My whole day fell apart. I was a mess, and I'm real glad it's my Friday, and I don't have to work tomorrow.
Did you get it?
Did I get it? No, but I made enough of an argument that it was true, whether it was true or not. The argument was sound enough because I'm like, my stuff is not broken. My stuff does what my stuff is supposed to do. This other stuff is stepping on my stuff because it's doing stuff at different times. My stuff's doing it, and I don't think I'm wrong. And I usually do. I live in an existence of Steven is wrong 99% of the time. But this time, I'm not wrong. And it's not me. And it's some other problem that I'm involved in, but it's not mine. It's some other thing. Whew. Boy, it was tricky.
I love when you get, there's this little thing that you do where you rear your head back and you like do this, and it can mean multiple things. Like, it's like a Pokemon saying its name, right? Like Pikachu means his entire vocabulary, but this could be, it's gross. This could be like, no, you're wrong. This could be like F you in particular.
This is the best thing I've ever heard.
Yes, this could be excitement, like oh.
Well, so it all comes from being on the internet, on video. You have to convey your emotions through your body, and that's how I do it. That's how I choose to do it. That's what I do.
The one thing
you're saying things. Well, either that or, it's like you go see a concert, and the musicians are playing the songs, but they don't move. You can't feel any of their energy. It's like, this is great. You sound like the album, Smashing Pumpkins, but you suck live. Like, you suck. But you go watch a band who's, like, jumping all over the place and, like, headbanging and losing
Pink Elephant.
The energy is called stage presence. Stage presence. You got to have it. So me and Ashley have it in droves because we do this.
Okay, so too. I just sit here and, like, chew on my nails and...
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, that's okay. So if you could have one way, like one expression to convey emotion, and that's the only thing that you could use during a conversation, just that one expression, what do you think you would get the most like length out of?
My gut went to devil horns.
What the fuck? That's not, you don't even use that. Like,
just like,
I'm real Jacob too long.
Dude, are you okay? Yeah. Hey, you want to go to a party? Yeah. Do you want pizza tonight? No.
What the fuck? The down horn just no.
Yeah, if I could use like different variations. Which way is the grocery store? That way. What would you use, Miss I've got better ideas?
don't know. I pulled that out of my ass as I was asking it.
See, isn't it fun to ask a question you don't have an answer to, but expect other people to be totally ready?
I think I would just do a smile because, like,
oh, that's simple.
If I'm smiling and you see my teeth, I'm happy. If I'm like sitting here like this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't give two shits about.
Yeah, no,
okay,
that's the face you make when you're like, God help me, get me out of whatever I'm doing right now. Because I've seen that face. I've seen that face a lot, and it's really funny when it's happening at a place where there's nothing we can do about it. Because you're like, yeah, please.
As the teeth start to go away, I'm like,
yeah. You struggle. It's if the teeth start to go away. I'm like, there comes a point where you can't fake it anymore, right? I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying. Oh, I can't do it. My face hurts.
You go dead. Like your eyes go dead. Like everything else looks like a normal Steven happy time, but your eyes, there's just no light. I'm like, Jacob, we need to go get Steven. Nah, he's all right. Jacob, look at his eyes. Oh my God, I need to get my potato.
It's like, because I'm seeing through them, and I'm just like, and I get to that point where I'm thinking about what I'm doing, not what they're saying. Oh, I need to keep conveying that I'm interested. Oh, snap, I haven't heard anything they just said. Oh, no, I'm so in trouble. Oh, no, what am I going to do? I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, nope, didn't hear a darn thing. Not a thing. Jacob!
That is like literally every conversation I have with anyone. There is a time where my brain tones out and then it like snaps back and you're like, react. They expect a reaction. Just smile. Oh, fuck, your grandma died.
No.
Wrong reaction.
Oh, have you ever done like a really bad one? Like really bad? Like you said something and they go, you weren't even listening. And you're like, oh, I've been caught. They actually caught me. They know it.
Mine was the grandmother died. I was in school and somebody said something and I didn't know why my brain did it, but it tuned out and then I didn't hear them and I didn't want them to repeat themselves. And so I just started laughing because that's my default. And she was just like, the chick beside her was like, actually her grandmother died. Like, what? How? Why are you're so weird? And I'm like, yeah, fuck you both.
Well, at least you didn't like them, so that's fine. Man, we put so much. School's the worst because it makes you put so much effort into people that you don't care about most of the time. Like, I have 2 friends from high school that mean the world to me, and some that went away that I still miss, and I think they're great. But, like, for the most part, you don't remember high school friends. College friends, maybe, a little better.
Yeah.
But high school, like, y'all haven't even figured out who you are yet by the time you graduate. You still got time. You know, they expect too much of you. Anyway, News Bear Left Untold. You were going to say something before I cued the music, but we can go or you can say. We can stay or you could say or we could go now.
That was beautiful. Can that be like anti-segue music?
Yeah, sure.
Who can stay away? I don't remember. I did remember until you did the anti-segue music.
See what happens when, like, on Travis's show, when I was like, I got it. Oh, no, you go ahead. Oh, shoot, I don't remember. I still don't remember what I was going to say. You know, when that happens, you start going, I know I'll remember, but then you're thinking about trying so hard to remember the thing that there's no way you'll ever get it. So you just give up.
And you realize that you've been treading water in a stupid way verbally.
Yes.
And you're just like, I sound like an asshole.
It's the best. And I get so jealous when I hear somebody like, oh, what was it saying? Oh, yes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. How did you do that? If that happens to me, I'm gone. Like, that thought's never coming back. It's never going to resurface. But you're over here like, I just remember things that I need to remember. I'm perfect.
Look at my memory recall that my neurotypical brain likes to revel in.
And it's always in handsome or pretty people. And you're like, daggone it, not only are you handsome, you're also like able to remember junk. And that's just frustrating to me. You know?
I don't know that I've ever paid attention to handsome or pretty people's memory recall, but now I feel like I need to.
You're going to, and you're going to notice that person is handsome, and they just went, oh, yeah, I was saying this. And then you're like, oh, no wonder you're the mayor. Like, what's wrong with you?
The mayor of nipple rings.
Yeah, I like that. Zafo says, I like to take joy in that that's their only talent.
Ha! Lol.
Yes. get on a podcast with me and let's go toe to toe in the squared circle. Smart toilet.
You just keep busting out the cowboyness.
I've been in a cowboy mode. It's just been it's my favorite. I've been
It's
listening.
because your story.
My story was good, you guys. It's good.
I agree.
I'm proud of it, and I'm excited for you to get it in your hands come charity stream time. Smart Toilet recognizes users' backsides and analyzes poop. A team of Stanford University scientists announced they've designed a smart toilet that identifies the user by the shape of their backside and monitors the health of their waste. Lead researcher Sanjeev Gambhir said he and his team developed the Precision Health Smart Toilet to recognize users and use algorithms to analyze the health of their urination and bowel movements. Gambhir said the toilet uses cameras and motion sensors to identify a range of disease markers in stool and urine, including warning signs of various types of cancer. I have a point about this, and I'm going to say it now because due to our recent conversation, I'll forget. A few years ago, back in like 2007, there was a show called 2057, and it was a Discovery Channel show hosted by Michio Kaku, a world-famous theoretical physicist. And he was discussing the future, what the world will look like in 2057, in kind of an optimistic view. One of his predictions was that the accessories we use for pooping and peeing and you brushing our teeth or whatever will all analyze the material that they get for various diseases, and this information will be stored somewhere and shared with your insurance company. So basically, it was a removal of privacy, but he was saying if you fell out your window and there was alcohol in your system according to the toilet that you peed in that morning, then your insurance company will not cover the injury of you falling out the window because you had alcohol in your system. And now they can say you were drunk, even though you might not have been. You might have just had a hangover, but your toilet says you had alcohol, so they can use that as a way to say you can't. I'm sorry. But also, the T-shirt that the guy had put on when he fell out the window knew that he had been injured and informed the emergency services to come pick him up. It was just completely everything was tied together.
Fascinating.
It really was. And Corporate Gandalf said "poop of concept," and that's my favorite thing.
Not the previous.
It's not proof of concept. It's the poop of concept. But yeah, so think about that because that's pretty wild predictions. And the more Wi-Fi there is, the more true that seems to be. We could get there, What
was the movie The Island where they wake up, pee in the toilet, be like, you have too much sodium, bacon intake reduced.
Yeah, that's one thing you could take from that movie. Probably the only thing.
I really liked that movie.
I know. It's good. It's good that you liked it. Ewan McGregor's great, isn't he? Gambhir said the toilet uses cameras and motion sensors to identify a range of. I read that. The researchers said the toilet identifies users by reading their fingerprints from the flush lever, but it also uses cameras to identify them by another part of their body. We know it seems weird, but as it turns out, your anal print is unique. Oh, good. I can't wait for the police to start smearing ink on my butthole. The toilet takes video of stool samples and uses algorithms to analyze the consistency of the waste. The system also records urination, evaluates flow rate, stream time, and total volume. Not only can it alert you if you've had too much sodium, it can also tell you have prostate cancer. Sir, your stream seems a little slow today. Have you checked your prostate? Not personally, computer. You want to do it for me?
Oh my god.
Place rectum on sensor.
Rectum.
Darn near killed him.
Yay.
That's amazing, though. I feel like there were only, a retinal scan can be faked, Maybe you just walk into the office and they're like, we put in these new rectal scanners. Just bend over.
About to go get his.
Oh, good. He's going to go get his old anal print.
Why are you going to be anally printed by the FBI, Zafo?
He probably can't tell you. Most anal prints from the FBI can't have an NDA.
My uterus contracted.
I'm sorry. How long does it take there's so much I don't know because we had the C-section side of things.
Yes.
And Stephanie was told, please do not go up the stairs. And then she began to do marathons up and down the stairs all day because I ain't got time for that or some nonsense. I
can see that.
Yeah. Does it take time? I mean, how long does it take to get back to mostly okay?
So this is the one thing I struggle with. The entire time I was in the hospital, like my actual active labor was 20 minutes, and that included them like getting the cord disengaged from his neck. So
Yeah.
it was real short. I have like 2 to 4 stitches. I stopped watching after 2. I don't know if that happened. Like everything was good. They're like, you did great. You're up and moving. This is looking great. This is looking great. You're healing great. I don't understand why you're not taking pain medication, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to the end, right? I'm like, okay. And she's like, I need you not to lift anything other than the baby for 6 weeks. I'm like, I just went 9 months without having, like, I couldn't lift anything more than 25 pounds, but now it's like nothing heavier than the baby for six. So I'm assuming they give you this 6 week healing period.
Mm-hmm.
So I will assume that within 6 weeks, I should be able to start doing like exercise other than walking and holding my child.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is that's all you're going to be so caught up in doing that anyway.
True.
That
Very
there's
true.
there's less. It's not like, oh, I'll just put the baby down and go do some calisthenics. Like that's not really a thing unless
That
you're
is true.
freaking. I need to get my body back as quickly as possible. It's like just be a mom, man, just for a little while.
And most of those people like had worked out heavily before,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I stopped. I'm just like, we're just gonna be lazy.
Yeah, I mean, you deserve it though. If there's any time in your life you can just relax, it's this time. Like you've earned it. It's fine. Everybody should just relax. I'm taking this time during this pandemic to relax and gain another 20 pounds. It'll be fine. My beard's getting bigger just to hide the extra skin. A little brown. I can't wait for it to just get like this, and then I can gain more weight and look totally normal.
I feel like you're gonna end up like on the opposite side of that because Sam's home constantly, and you're gonna be like right and it's summer, so you're gonna be running around like a crazy person.
Oh, I need to be. I need to quit being a lazy dad and get out there and do like stuff. It's I laugh, but it's really sad. WTF? WTF? Is Jacob
Subs.
telling me go for it, honey? Because I feel like he is. He's saying go for it, honey. And
Oh
he's
well,
talking
Sub
to me.
said in 6 months Asha's gonna be the world's strongest woman out of spite, and then my husband is like, new mom, 30 swears. Look, neither one of Jacob and I haven't cursed at all for some reason after the baby was born, and so I'm just getting it out now.
That's why I said Jacob and Ashley walk into the hospital, a completely different Jacob and Ashley walk out. I guess an enriched Jacob and Ashley. You've now got more features than you had before.
It's so funny to hear Jacob like swear, flinch, and then whisper swear. And I'm like, he can't hear you. I mean, he can hear you, but he can't hear you. Right now, you're just going, wah, 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 wah. What school did you go to, Tiffany?
It's best to get in the habit though, because if you have a kid around and you stop swearing around the kid, that tends to stick and you'll remember it. But if you just swear willy nilly around the kid, then it might end up you get so habitual you don't even notice, and then your kid's walking around F F F F F F F F F, and you're like, oh, whoops, I think we messed up somewhere, honey.
I don't swear at all around Sam. Like, I think we're pretty good about that. So I'm just like, I can turn it off.
You're fine. Yeah, you've
I've
always been good
practiced
at
for
that.
years being the DAR chick that is me in real life. Scientists create mutant enzyme that recycles plastic bottles in hours. Oh, Adam Mukikam, thank you. I love that it's a mutant enzyme. Teenage mutant ninja enzymes. Enzymes
great.
that a plastic bear. Shut up, Ashley. A mutant bacterial enzyme that breaks down plastic bottles for recycling in hours has been created by scientists. That's cool and
Yeah, man.
terrifying. I'm waiting for the movie. The enzyme, originally discovered in a compost heap of leaves, reduced the bottles to chemical building blocks that were then used to make high quality new bottles. Stop. Just stop making the new shit. There's enough old shit. We don't need the new shit. Just reuse the old shit. There's countries that do it. Like,
You tell them.
I don't understand. Like, okay, you've broken it down to chemical building blocks. Okay, so it's still there, right? This means it's smaller and now more in our waterable. Existing recycling technologies usually produce plastic only good enough for clothing and carpets because we're dick holes.
Our carpet's
The
made of plastic. It's balls. Don't buy plastic carpet.
Everything is like, people are like, oh my God, that's so soft. What is it? I'm like, it's plastic fibers.
And they're all like, it holds up. And because of the dyeing, you can't bleach this carpet. It's always going to be the color it is. And that's fine. But it mats like a boss. Like 3 years, your carpet's high traffic areas, it's matted. It's over. Goodbye.
But it's the heat. Like plastic is plastic, sense. Right? Yeah. So if you're constantly squishing it and squozing it, it's a malleable thing that they've made fabric out of. So
and it's very thin plastic, and that would take the heat. It would take so much heat to melt it because there's very little of it actually there. You know, at least that's probably my theory. I don't know. It's probably bullcrap. Heat is heat. Plastic is plastic. No, it's got a melting point.
I agree.
Thank you, Ashley. Yeah.
You're welcome. We're the scientists here now.
We have the microphones. I mean, have you watched the news? Whoever has it tells the truth.
Oh my God.
I'm not going there. I didn't mean to.
No. The company behind the breakthrough, Carboys.
Carboys, yes. No, Carbios is what it is.
Carbios. I like.
I'll type it in the chat.
Said it was aiming for industrial scale recycling within 5 years. It is partnered with major companies including Pepsi and L'Oreal to accelerate development. Independent experts call the new enzyme a major advance. So it's so cool, but you're not addressing the problem, and I struggle with that muchly.
You're just inventing new things.
Yes. Why did my it's not my eyes, is it? Right? That's just okay. I'm refreshing. There we go. Oh, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog drive-through advertisement now.
I heard that movie was good.
I heard there was a lot of driving in it for a hedgehog that can run the length of the earth within moments.
Well, you gotta have the humans in it, you know? They gotta get somewhere. And that's our fastest mode of transportation outside of the airplane. And it's hard to shoot in an airplane. So they shoot road trips with the fastest. Could you imagine being able to like circuit the planet in an hour and you're riding in a 70 mile per hour Chevy? You'd be like, what am I even doing here? You know?
Yeah, that's why when you introduce a concept into a novel or a movie, that's why The Matrix 2 and 3 sucked, because Neo was God mode, right? Like he could fly, he could jump into things and destroy it, and then you have a real hard time making it any sort of sense of urgency after that.
Yes, and you go, oh man, what are we going to throw at him? I know, 70 Hugo Weavings. We're going to put 70 CG Noodle Hugo Weavings against one Noodle Neo. Noodle Neo. But really, like, that was back when CGI thought it could do those things, but it just couldn't.
Rubber band people.
They were just...
We still struggle with rubber band people. So then... 70 rubber band people.
Yeah, it's got significantly better, though. Like, you remember Spider-Man 2? Everybody was noodly. You were complaining about Noodle Dr. Octopus. And now it's like, when Spider-Man swings in the new movies, that's pretty much Spider-Man.
It does look nice, yeah. What I would imagine a man in a leotard swinging through the city would look like.
Man, I want that to be a normal thing. Like, I want that to be a world we could live in. Like, now, if you really had a superhero, there's no way they'd be like, I'm going to put on this leotard. This is what I'm supposed to do. No. Like, look at Phoenix Jones. He wears, like, body armor. He's a real superhero. Yeah.
Well, they don't have the superpowers, right? They're just superheroes.
Do we know that? You don't know that. He could have superpowers.
That's why Batman has padding, because he doesn't have powers except for money.
Ashley, I'm so excited for the Robert Pattinson Batman. I could die.
Is it in the can or
no? It's still, they're working on it, but the Batmobile looks sweet. The Batsuit looks sweet. They're like, it's not an origin story, and I'm like, oh, please don't show the pearls hit the ground and the shooting of Batman's parents. Like, we get it. We don't need any more of that.
Everything.
We don't need more crime alley. Like, if he needs to look at the alley, fine, because he's still dealing with some crap, and he will until he dies. But we don't need to see his parents get shot. We know how it works. We know Batman. Children who aren't born yet know how Batman starts out. Like, and it doesn't matter. Do you think Sam gives a flip why Spider-Man? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He just knows when great power comes great responsibility. I haven't told him that his uncle was gunned down in the street yet. That's not something you need to tell your 5-year-old. He'll get there. We'll go through that at some point. But he loves Spider-Man with or without the origin. And when he hears it, he'll be like, oh, that makes sense. And we'll all move on. But for some reason, movies want to, like, just stay obsessed. Stay obsessed with where people came from. Like, I think we'd all be better off if we just had, like, minor flashbacks. You know?
Agree. Like, if it was something, like, teased, like a little flashback, or if it was something new.
Yeah.
Like, revelation, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I could get behind that, be like, oh, they've been building up to this, and this was so cool, and I see what they did there, and they still. Did you ever watch Alita Battle Angel?
No, but I want to.
It's on the HBOs. Watch it, but it definitely like, you get to the end, and you're like, and then where's my complete movie?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't like it. So Batman Begins, I had that the whole Christopher Nolan Batman, as much as I love it, there wasn't near enough time to tell the story, man. Like, you didn't get enough. You barely started, and I mean, they didn't have enough of a bat signal to the second one. And then after that, like, it had to end too quick. Like, you had to kill Two-Face. Like, there's so much more Two-Face there. Like, you know, why couldn't we do more? But in Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, they killed Dr. Octopus. They killed the Green Goblin. Like, stop killing the villains. We don't kill the villains. Comic books don't have to kill the villains.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can triumph and then, go back and have an issue later.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to have the same villain for next time. I mean, maybe you can make a reference that he's still there, but I don't know.
Yeah, but we did get Bane. Bane was pretty great. So very well done, Bane. I'm glad they didn't go yellow mutant venom powers Bane. That was a good move. Hey, man, that's the end of the show. We got to get Ashley out of here because she's got, like, other priorities and stuff nowadays.
I can feel my child needs feeding sense going off.
So we're gonna let everyone go. Have a wonderful night. Ashley, I'm so glad that you're back. I'm so glad that everything went well. I know the Legion is very happy as well that you've got the little guy. I can't wait to actually hold him when this virus is gone. I look forward to that. I'm proud that I was the first person in the family to see him face to face. I will lord that above everyone, including your mom, and it's making me really happy. Hey, if you like the show, leave us some reviews. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you should. Two Dorks TV or Steve H&H or Fate Kills, PHATE Kills, who has sworn off social media and doesn't tweet anymore. Or you can tip us at twodorks.net/tip to support the show with your cash money. Or join us on Patreon, patreon.com/twodorks, where you can just basically tip us once a month with $1 or more, like Adam of Geekheim does, and Og, and my mom, and Ashley's mom. And believe it or not, that's helping pay for a lot of stuff. We actually were able to buy some extra things that we needed. I was able to pay for a license for Reaper, the audio application we use to record. So that's a huge thing.
Yay! Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so you guys are awesome for doing that and helping us out. And we will leave you with these words of wisdom. Thank you, Zeva, for the 200 cheer. You're the greatest. These are from Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You're right, Eleanor. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Bye!